The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
I'm Robin Bird. I'm an ex-Navy deep-sea diver and a marine naturalist. I've spent years filming and observing sharks in the wild.
And I'm Eli Martinez. I'm an expert on shark behavior. I'm on a mission to unravel the secret world of sharks and share what I've learned with you.
We're going to challenge everything you think you know about sharks. What's the best way to get a shark worked up and in your face? Spearing fish in shark-infested waters seems like madness. But South Florida spearfishers have been doing exactly that for decades. And each has a harrowing story. We're going to show you how to stay safe when confronted with an excited shark that wants your fish.
Well, it's another hot, muggy morning here in Jupiter, Florida, and today we have a very unusual show for you. We're heading out with Captain Randy Jordan and the crew of the Emerald and expert spearfisher John Dickinson to show you the uneasy relationship that exists between spearfishers and sharks.
If you spearfish and you live in a high shark population area like Florida, you soon learn that sharks are part of the equation, and you have to adapt to this reality. Constant awareness about what's going on around you, as well as what to do if the shark wants the fish you just speared, are skills you have to develop.
In Florida, the sharks you have to be most aware of when spearfishing are bull sharks, Caribbean reef sharks, dusky sharks, tiger sharks, and great hammerheads. Each species comes with its own attitude and their own set of rules.
First, keep in mind that the shark wants the fish, not you. But your actions when dealing with a worked-up shark will either keep the situation under control, or it could turn into a dangerous struggle over a fish that's just not worth fighting over.
Let's talk about safety just for a second. First thing you need to know is that local knowledge is required. Sharks act differently in different areas, depending on the visibility and often because of the temperature. When we shoot a fish here, the first thing we do is get that fish subdued. You got about 60 seconds before the shark isn't afraid anymore of the shot and will come back and want to share that fish with you. So we subdue it, we put a lift bag on it, and we send it up to the surface. That way when Mr. Bull Shark comes back and he's looking for that fish to share, he's just sitting there going, where's the fish, where's the fish? It's already on the surface.
Make no mistake about it, sharks and spearfishing are a dangerous combination. And as a spearfisherman, you need to follow some very important rules to make sure you get back on the boat safely and back home to your family. First of all, don't ever dive alone. Sharks, when they see more than one person together, they don't like it. They will tend to move away. Also, don't dive in murky water. Murky water, you can't see what's coming at you. So dive with somebody, dive in clear water. Thirdly, get your fish on the surface as soon as possible.
Our first dive this morning will be within state waters. You can't legally chum for sharks or feed them within 3 miles of the Florida coast. But we won't need to, because the first shark we're going to introduce you to is the Caribbean reef shark. All it takes to have one of these guys in your face is a speared fish. These sharks patrol the reefs like junkyard dogs, and if you underestimate how fast they can turn on you if you spear a fish, you might be wishing you were back on the boat.
Caribbean reef sharks are kind of like the Jack Russell Terrier of the shark world. They're small sharks, they're really feisty, and they're just completely unpredictable. I don't really enjoy working with these sharks because I just don't trust them.
Let me give you my take on the Caribbean reef shark. Everybody thinks the bull shark is nasty. Well, let me tell you something. The Caribbean reef shark is worse. I would rather spearfish around any other shark other than the Caribbean reef shark. And I'm very uneasy about this first dive.
We're headed for a section of reef known for prowling Caribbean reef sharks. Bold, aggressive, territorial, and known for biting spearfishers. Our first encounters of the day just might be the most dangerous. A few miles offshore from Jupiter, Florida, our team is about to jump in on a reef loaded with Caribbean reef sharks. Although they're smaller sharks, they have a reputation for getting very aggressive with spearfishers. This may be the most dangerous dive of the day. Our goal is to help spearfishers understand the basics of shark etiquette.
Hey, do you think my ponytail's too tight?
We make our way to the first spot, a reef known as Tunnels, swarming with Caribbean reef sharks.
We're all actually smiling, but we're a little on edge with this first dive and the Caribbean reef sharks. But it's all about keeping a good attitude and positive vibes and just staying calm while we're down there. And we're going to conduct ourselves safely.
All right, guys, we're at Tunnels. This reef is famous for a couple reasons. First of all, it's the closest reef to the inlet, so operators dive here a lot because they can get home. Second of all, they've been feeding Caribbean reef sharks here for 20 years. They stopped doing it in 1999 when they passed a law not to feed reef sharks or any sharks within 3 nautical miles of the Florida coast. We're going to jump in. Reef sharks aren't pelagic, so these guys remember what's going on. So we're going to see a lot of reef sharks. When we shoot something, you're going to see that they get worked up. You just need to stay out of the action. Don't get too close to that line. And John and I will take care of the fish. There's fish here, but you got to have some brass ones to go down and shoot fish here.
As we gear up, the atmosphere becomes more serious. Caribbean reef sharks are precocious and quick to bite. So we have one rule on this dive. No one gets bitten.
Let's set us up, Colin.
We make our way down to the reef, about 50 feet deep. At first, it appears barren, and Eli motions, "Where are the sharks?" But Randy Jordan has brought us here for a reason. I follow Randy through a series of natural rock tunnels as he hunts for fish. This, of course, is how the reef came to be named Tunnels. Eli spots something, and out of nowhere, the first Caribbean reef sharks arrive on the scene. 2 females, both about 6 feet long. At first, they stay about 20 feet away, circling our group. Randy decides to spear a fish. As Eli looks on thinking, this is about to get interesting. And he's right. A Caribbean reef shark makes a beeline to Randy, who has taken a position on the reef with his speared fish. Something you should never do. Randy never sees the shark coming, and he almost gets bitten on the calf before I scream at him underwater. This shark is aggressive. He stays close to Randy, using the grotto for cover, then comes right back and challenges Randy for the fish. This shark would bite you in a flash if you pushed your luck. But Randy stays calm and uses the butt of his gun as a prod to keep the shark at bay. Having just avoided getting chomped on the calf by a worked-up Caribbean reef shark, Randy is now on full alert. But this dangerous situation is escalating rapidly, as more Caribbean reef sharks show up to challenge Randy for his catch. And this is a perfect illustration of what not to do. Carrying a speared fish with you over the reef. A few miles offshore from Jupiter Inlet and about 30 feet deep, we're almost pinned down by a swarm of Caribbean reef sharks. Randy has speared a fish and almost paid the price for keeping it with him as he cruised the reef. So far, illustrating our point about how aggressive Caribbean reef sharks can be has proven easy. And it's just getting started. Randy sits tight on the reef, refusing to relinquish the fish. And this is frustrating the Caribbean reef sharks, who make repeated attempts to snatch it from him. Randy stays calm, and using the butt of the gun, he guides the sharks away. But this is the wrong way to operate in Sharky Waters. The best approach is to get rid of your fish as soon as you can, by using a float with a stringer on it. But this is also a fascinating look into Caribbean reef shark behavior. You're getting a rare look into their neighborhood. These sharks do not migrate. They live here year-round. Eli and I are taking shelter in a grotto, watching the action from relative safety. Yes, this is crazy. I'm counting at least 7 individual reef sharks, and they seem to be coming from every angle. You should never underestimate any shark, especially if you're carrying a wounded fish. Eli and I are mesmerized by the experience. And the Caribbean reef sharks seem just as curious as they are excited by the fish that Randy has on his stringer. It's almost as if this is the only thing that's going on that's exciting in their neighborhood right now. So the party's on. Randy defiantly stands his ground with his fish as our reef shark approaches, followed by 2 more. And then another rushes in for the fish. You can tell this shark is dangerous. If you were careless, it would bite you in a flash. But Randy shows just how easy it is to keep the shark at bay by calmly using the butt of his spear gun. Now take a good look into this shark's eye, and you can see the determination these animals possess when they're fixated on a target. The reef sharks just keep coming, and even though we're relatively safe in our grotto, Eli and I decide to evacuate.
Here you go. Colin, take it, buddy. Got it. Ew. I gotta get a smaller camera.
I gotta get right behind you.
Wow, Caribbean reef sharks are really fast. They're like little speed demons. I had trouble keeping up with them with my camera because they kept on stirring up the water and they were just going so fast in between. It was very intense dive.
Man, I tell you what, I just got down in a hole. I got down in a hole and I just put my camera right on the reef and I was just like watching probably 5 or 6, 7 reef sharks just spiraling around us, and you almost got bit.
I saw that.
You did not? You didn't see it coming?
I felt it, though.
I literally yelled underwater.
Yeah, they're so quick, though, man. How do you keep up with them, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like when they got that hogfish, I didn't even see him coming. It just, bam, hit it.
Oh, gosh, yeah, he shot a
Yeah,
hogfish.
so fast.
I actually took the camera and I looked at you for a second. I looked back down, the hogfish was
Gone.
gone.
Yeah.
And you were just trying to bring it up from the bottom.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice eating fish. But there you go. There is the attitude and the personality of the Caribbean reef shark. Let's move on to the next goal here and go visit the bull sharks, huh?
Yeah, that ought to be easy.
Let's go do something safer.
That'll be easy after this.
So we're about to drop in, get in the middle of a bunch of bull sharks, spear a fish, and send it to the surface. There are safer things to do, but this is how, if you're going to spear fish around bull sharks, you can keep it safe, or safer.
Try to keep it.
And some people would just not agree with any of that, and we get that. We get that.
Okay, on this dive, we're gonna be spearing around bull sharks, and I've got a little experience with that. Let me share a story with you. A couple of weeks ago, I shot a cobia off the back of a bull shark. That cobia was fighting, came up, went over my head. The bull sharks came off the bottom, came up to get that cobia. They went by me, but in the process, one of them took my scooter and yanked it out from underneath my leg. The other one grabbed my spear gun and took off with it. The other one went after the cobia and annihilated that fish. So anytime you're spearfishing around bull sharks, you never know what's gonna happen.
We're headed for a deep ledge, known for bull sharks, lemon sharks, and dusky sharks, to name a few. Our driver sets us up, and we enter the water. By the time we make it to Randy, he has already speared a fish and is getting ready to send it to the surface, where the boat will see it and pick it up. Because out here, you never know what might show up. The first bull sharks begin arriving. And soon, a remarkable congregation of sharks appear. While Randy and John continue to spear fish. And not all of them make it to the surface. Bull sharks have an incredibly powerful bite and a ferocious style of attack. And they also have a neutral mode, just cruising around below you looking bored, not coming up to your level or having direct eye contact with you, or very rarely anyway. There is something unnerving in a bull shark's personality. They seem to be unhinged. There's nothing warm or fuzzy about them at all. As more bull sharks begin to appear, including this huge 500-pounder, we start thinking about getting back to the safety of the boat. A swarm of bull sharks is following us. We're getting out of the water not a minute too soon.
David, take the camera, buddy. Here you go. Coming up. Whoa. Let's get out of here, Eli. Woo. That's Sharky, man. All right, so what did we learn here today? 3 very important lessons if you're spearing fish around sharks. Lesson number 1, there's safety in numbers. We sent John Dickinson down on his scooter to do a little recon on one of the dives just to see if there were any sharks in the area.
he ran into a pack of bull sharks. He was by himself, he got mobbed, he got chased out of the water, he even got rammed twice. Very dangerous situation. When 5 of us got in the water together, their behavior changed. Lesson number 2, if you're holding a bleeding fish and a shark shows up, or you've got a number of sharks around you, get rid of that fish as quickly as you can. You should have a float with a hook on it where you can clip it off to the fish, let it go, get it to the surface, let the boat pick it up. And 3, it's extremely dangerous to spear fish in shark-infested waters in low visibility.
Robin, I've been diving with big dangerous sharks for over a decade. And every time I get in the water, I learn something new. And to see these sharks light up when you introduce a struggling, wounded fish, it's like flipping a switch.
I couldn't agree more. And we're leaving here with an entirely new level of respect for the sharks and for the spearfishers of southern Florida.